There are still more pages to write for a man legions of hoop fans now view as, yep, the greatest of all time.
Time for the answer to our Black History Month trivia question. Since entering the NBA, LeBron James has scored more playoff points than how many NBA franchises? 7 franchises. The Hornets, the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, the Knicks, the Wizards, the Kings, and the Magic. My goodness. And speaking of LeBron, here's what Wemby had to say about him All-Star Weekend.
Whose game is most underrated in the league?
I'm gonna go with LeBron. Underrated just means you're not rated at your right value, right? I think LeBron's underrated.
Shannon, I'll start with you. What do you think of what Wemby had to say that LeBron's the most underrated player in the NBA?
I agree, and let me tell you why. Because I think the thing is, no matter what he does, they always try to compare, well, Jordan would have done this, well, Kobe would have done that. He makes 8 threes, Steph Curry wouldn't have missed any. If he goes 10 for 10 from the free throw line, Kevin Durant would have went 15 for 15. So they're always trying to compare him to someone else, and they don't give him his right. I don't think we really appreciate. I think we do, guys. I'm not saying Perk, you, and Stephen A. myself. I think as students of the game, having Perk, you haven't played the game. Stephen A., you covered the game for 3 decades. I think we have a great appreciation, but I think the casual fan, I don't think they appreciate LeBron like they should. We're looking at him and we're like 24, 9, and 7, like that's something to sneeze at. Forget the fact that he's 40 years of age. He's averaging 24 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. That is great at any age. But when you amplify that and you say he's 40 and he's doing that, I definitely think LeBron James is underrated. I definitely don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. For whatever reason now people have made up in their mind, he flops, he cries, he whines, and they're never going to change their perception. But I agree with Wemby. I think LeBron is underrated at this point in time for what he does.
You see, every single time somebody go to California, they start to show those signs, and I see it, of loud, marijuana, desire. And that's Wemby with those comments. He had to be on something out there in California. I mean, we know what the Bay Area has to offer. Because I saw it what he did in the skills challenge, and I said to myself, oh, yeah, he off a little bit. With him and Chris Paul, what they did in the skills challenge, doing all that. Then all of a sudden you come with these comments that LeBron James is underrated. Come on, Shay. Really? LeBron James is underrated. Anytime you're in the GOAT conversation in any barbershop, in anybody's eyes on TV, you're not underrated. We talk about LeBron James more than anybody in life. Our shows are predicated on LeBron James and what he does on a day-to-day basis because he's that spectacular at the age of 40. Anywhere you go in America, the conversation is had about LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Everybody loves LeBron. Hell, I think he's the GOAT. I just don't agree with that statement that LeBron James is the most underrated in the game. We appreciate him on a day-to-day basis. The fans appreciate him on a day-to-day basis, what he brings to the game, and and what he has meant to the game, and the stats that he's still putting up.
Perk, I'll roll with you on that. I'll agree with you with one caveat. He's definitely underrated when it comes to money. LeBron James deserves a hell of a lot more money than he's getting. Now, the stipulations within the collective bargaining agreement mandate that there's a certain salary that he's allowed to have. That's why I never had a problem with Bronny James being in a position to get the money that he's gotten as a second-round 55th overall pick, because I'll be damned if LeBron James doesn't deserve more money. With what he's done for the league over the course of his career, the core certainty that the league established with negotiating their collective bargaining agreement, basically having a soft cap, and you got luxury taxes, first apron, second apron, damn it, even third aprons for crying out loud, and how punitive those damages and limits on players' salaries in terms of years of service and things of that nature. There is no question that LeBron is being restrained and held back from earning his market value. LeBron James is deserving of a hell of a lot more money than he's getting. I don't know if you could put a price on how much money he's worth to the NBA. I think he knows it. I think it contributes to his behavior from time to time, where he does things like he did last night, where he does things periodically to snub his nose at the league. I think it's because he feels underappreciated. He feels underrated. He doesn't feel completely embraced for his contribution to the game, and he shows out the way that he does from time to time, periodically. I think that has a lot to do with some of the things that he's done from time to time.
I think the thing is, Perk, you're right. He's in the GOAT conversation, but I think Wemby was talking about currently. I think now currently, people believe that there's so many more players in the NBA that are better than LeBron, given what he still does on a nightly basis. No, he can't sit in the chair like he once could. No, occasionally he'll dig in, he'll play defense for a stretch here or there, a couple of possessions. But at that age, he's not going to be able to do what he once could, guard 1 through 5, especially the last 5 minutes of the ball game. They went to a small lineup, and LeBron was at the center. No, Perk, he can't do that anymore. But I think the thing is what Wemby was talking about, when we talk about value based on the current player, currently right now, a lot of people think LeBron is maybe outside the top 20. I still believe based on what he does on a nightly basis, hell, it's hard for me to see him being outside of the top 10. But that's just me. That's just me.
Half of their season is national televised games.
It makes a lot of sense to me, but we haven't heard from Stephen A.
Well, let me say this. Anthony Edwards has every right to feel whatever way he wants to feel. But we have every right not to like it, Shannon. I didn't like hearing that from him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. Anthony Edwards is my favorite player in the NBA outside of Steph Curry. I think the brother's electrifying, and the more he works on his jumper, I think that I look at him and I see somebody that's Jordan-esque. I want this brother on center stage. I want this brother to want to win championships. I want to see all of that, and I want to see him as the marquee. Let me bring it home, and let me see Perk and Shannon when I ask this question, because it's very, very important. I'm just going to throw it out, but let me say what I got to say once I throw out this somewhat rhetorical question. Do you want to be Kevin Durant, or do you want to be LeBron or Steph? There is a difference. Kevin Durant is that dude that's just the sniper. That's just the brother that goes out there. He shows up to the arena. He gives you the business. He goes home, okay? That's what he does. Steph Curry and LeBron James have carried the mantle of the NBA. They've been the marquee. And so you have Jordan was a marquee. Kobe was a marquee. You know, Vince Carter, God bless him. Loved seeing him yesterday on the air. Greatest in-game dunker in NBA history. Absolutely, positively spectacular. But there was something missing from his want-it attitude as it pertained to the attention. Not the game I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the attention. There's a difference. And so it does come down to, how do you want to be viewed? How do you want to be looked upon? I'm looking at brothers up here on in this business. Shannon, you're a Hall of Fame player. Hall of Famer, okay? But in this business right now, you wasn't happy to just be doing it. You wasn't happy to show up on the air, get a check, go home. Big Perk, that ain't you. We damn sure know that ain't me. The